It's the crypto lifestyle, baby.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another live stream interview, and today we have a very special guest for you. His name is Youngsuk Kang, who is a former Terra Luna developer, but has since left the team well over a year ago due to reasons that he will tell you himself in this very live stream. Youngsuk Kang is also a core developer at Astar Network. He is the founder of Standard Protocol, and we did do an interview with him last year, and he called this. He pretty much pointing out some flaws with Terra Luna that unfortunately came to fruition. So first and foremost, I just want to welcome Youngsuk Kang to the program once again. Thank you for making this happen under such short notice. Youngsuk.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making this happen, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
To be revealed anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So guys, you know, before we get into all these questions, and we know that how the markets has been taking a hit from this, we're gonna ask everything about UST, Anchor Protocol, Lunar, all of these things, all of these bearing questions. And I feel as though you know, you guys are going out there to influencers to comfort you and give you advice, but no matter what they say to you, they don't have the professional advice and you know-how and technical knowledge as much as this gentleman in front of us right here, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He did call this, he did warn us, and I'm going to prove it to you guys in this video clip that I'm going to play right now. So Youngsuk, before we get to all of the questions, what I will be doing here is I will be showing the viewers a clip from last year where you were expressing some displeasantries with Terra Luna and why you left the project, I believe when they were creating the Anchor Protocol, right, about a year and a half ago or so. So let me play that clip first and we'll get to the first question thereafter. Sure. So yeah, carry on. You're talking about your blockchain experience or developing experience with Luna and Plasm Network.
Oh yeah, so I got out there, right?
Yeah.
Let me explain. Okay, so I got into Terra from an introduction that there's some new protocols they're developing right now, which is Anchor now. So I've been working on the Cosmos smart contract there, trying to build like a money market or like AMMs or so. And yeah, and eventually I made the Cosmos smart contract called Houston. And one day I just found out that in a CoinDesk Korea, there was an article that Terra actually pre-mined their Lunas or some assets in there. So after seeing this, some of my friends got out of the company in Terra, and I was kind of, I was in a conflict whether I should just pursue my career there or just find another job. And while I was conflicting for that, actually Soda reached out to me, said, hey, do you want to build Plasm? And he said, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go. And then just put a resignation letter for that, and then just took off to the Plasm. So there has been problems between the algorithmic stablecoin ecosystem where they print a bunch of monies in the average rebase, but people might think that this algorithmic stablecoin would just work automatically, but actually requires some users' participations to sacrifice their ownership of their stablecoins in contractionary cases where, which is when their stablecoin price goes lower than $1. So ESD, I think they came up with coupon. DSD, I think they came up with something else, and Basis Cash just came up with the bond. But people did not really want to sacrifice their ownership of a token in those contractionary cases, and most of the algorithmic stablecoins just ended up falling down in prices. But they're trying to bring up the value of their stablecoin by the partnership, but we're not even sure that the price will ever recover. So if they have tuned it right in the first, I think they would work pretty much well. For me, in this blockchain ecosystem, it's about building things together with friends. I don't really kind of care about this company culture anymore. I mean, I just had too much in Terra. Like Terra, it's just they're too focused on themselves, I think. So after I got out and then got into Plasm, I can now make an open source projects that can.
Dude, I swear to God, I just got goosebumps listening to that. I got a 4K camera. I don't know if you guys could see it, but I got goosebumps right now. Everything you said just happened. Everything you said. Okay, so let me, before you speak here, Youngsuk, so pre-mine coins turned you off. You know, the stable coin has a chance of going below $1 and probably won't recover. They're in it for themselves and a bunch of other stuff. bro, I salute you and I really, really respect you. So speak about that first, please. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through the question. First question. I mean, if you could answer, then I would. If you could answer it, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So like just if you could
so
give us an overview of that, what we just saw and heard from last year. How did you see these things? Were you obviously you're a developer and you have a different pair of eyes than the average guy, but just kind of reflect back on the past there, that clip.
So, like at that pass, like I was scouted from the company employee at that time as like a part-time dev. I mean,
Yes.
I was like the only guy who got scholar from the ETH DevCon, and I was an investor at Polkadot, and I've been doing so many things, contributing to each blockchain projects. So I think that's why I got hired. Um, so at first glance, I thought Terra was adopting crypto to real world, and I believe that crypto is the next finance for people. So I wanted to see the future in there, but until they were not doing right. So in there, I warned a lot of times, but I have been ignored. And I wanted to finish what I thought it was right to make a future of finance. So I made my own company to not only just finish what I have done, but also contribute to overall blockchain industry with more bigger scale. Because like what I thought about this wrongdoings of the people in the company, I thought I also need a company to make something right. So
Yes.
that's how I found Standard Protocol.
Interesting stuff. For the people who don't know what Standard Protocol is, that is, Young Suck's project where we interviewed him last year, and we could touch upon Standard Protocol. The reason why he was inspired to make Standard Protocol because of the tremendous flaws that he expressed to us over a year ago about Luna, when nobody gave a shit about it because people just want to make money, right? If something is like at say a few pennies, nobody cares about it. Then it goes to say $500, then people start talking about it. Then it raises to more money, then people want a piece of it. Nobody cared about the risks that might have been involved. Right. So he was inspired to make Standard Protocol, which is another stable coin. And we could get into all of that too, much different than the ones that are out there. So that's why he left there. He saw the issues. And here we go. The same exact concerns he had. And he warned my community. And he expressed this. It has come to fruition, right? It is well documented about that. So, how long did you work for Terra Luna? And when exactly did you leave, if you don't mind me asking that?
It wasn't really that long because I found out their wrongdoings like pretty earlier, and I found out that the company was not trying to fix themselves. So it
Right.
has been like 8 months, and I think like really fortunately, Aster picked me up so I could move to their company and then contribute to their project. So,
Yeah.
but like that's when I started to think that I need a company to correct this all bullshits or lies. Yeah.
Hey, that worked out really well, eh? Jumping off that train onto Astar Network and Polkadot. That worked out really well in your favor, bro. Nice call. Nice
Yeah.
call. Nice call
Yeah.
there. Okay, so about 8 months. Cool. So you did express your concerns to the Luna team. When did you tell them, hey man, I don't like this. This could be a problem in the future? Did you express to them how you felt about these issues, and what was their reply if you did?
So like my first concern was that I thought Terra was actually wrapping fiat currency into KRT or the other Mongolian currency and then start from there to become like a USDC or USDT at first and then add some DeFi or smart contract into it. That was design when I thought about Terra. But after I faced the Terra SDT like pre-mining news, I was starting to question why did this happen? And I asked questions to Do at that time in Korean, but he did not answer. So that was like my first concern.
Yeah.
So and also there has been a time where I made the basis cash in it like a basic code. So like the thing is, I coded as he said about this basis, but I did not know its true intent at that time. And in the end, when I finished the code, I found out that this one-to-one exchange rule mechanism is actually wrong, and it also has overlooked features related to the value of the trading tokens in a set. So I said that this cannot be rebuilt, and there's also a fraudulent attempt
Right.
with basis bond to return future basis cash in the future, because that's where sacrifice happened. I warned them not to release it or have like at least overwhelming amount of basis cash to return, and then have less basis cash to circulate and let it maintain the pack. But they did. I'm not sure they listened to it, but they actually blocked me out of the project, and they launched it, and then they screwed it up. So I guess they did not. So
it comes down to a matter of they couldn't handle constructive criticism, or they had other motives that they said, hey, look, no matter what anybody says, we're going to go ahead and do what we need to do, which we sort of, what they planned out, right? So I guess people need to take that for what it is. And when we look at this headlines here, these guys are making headlines for all the wrong reasons, but UST's Do Kwon was behind earlier failed stablecoin. Ex-Terra colleague says, I'm going to get to another point just now, but Basis Cash, an algorithmic stablecoin project founded by an anonymous Rick and Morty in 2020, was actually the work of Terraform Labs employee. And I believe that was from CoinDesk Korea, I think. Don't quote me on that, but you're not the only one that's coming out. And, again, I got to praise you, and I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. I got to be honest, because you've came out over a year ago and said this, and now we're seeing other former employees are coming out, as of recent because of, obviously shit's hitting the fan, and they feel the need to speak out. So, yeah, I mean, if this guy was behind Basis Cash, and you mentioned Basis Cash in the interview last year too, and I never heard of it, but if the public knew of this, that he was involved and he was somewhat anonymous with that as well, nobody will be touching this with a 10-foot pole, right? So
yeah, and also there's also other concerns. I told this warning so much in their every steps. They started to block me out. So in the end, when I was leaving the company, I could only just build like a part of like a liquidation contract on the Anchor protocol. But I did not know their intent and how they're going to manage the Anchor protocol as well. So like due to this, I got sick of this. I decided to work alone to make Houston at that time for just making a dev tool for Cosmos smart contract framework, so that I can just contribute to the greater Cosmos ecosystem, not just Terra Luna. So yeah, pretty much at the end of the month of working there, I was actually kind of working for Cosmos ecosystem, not for Terra.
yes.
And that's how I kind of decided this is not the real job, and then left Terra at that time and figured out we need some standard in this crypto industry.
Standard Protocol is setting the standard for the stable coins right now.
Yeah, that's the name. Yeah,
there we go.
That's why I set it up.
Yeah, and let's talk about Standard at the tail end of this interview, to let people know, the solution that's out there. Now, this is a personal question of mine, Mr. Young Sakang. So, could you briefly summarize your answer? And this is your opinion, right? Maybe you have some other information that we don't, but was this an outside threat? Meaning, was they targeted? Were they attacked? People are saying it was the government attacking them. Was this an exploit in the protocol, or was this just a flat out inside job by the team, right? I think it comes down to those three scenarios. Again, I'll repeat that. Was this an outside threat, meaning were they targeted by outsiders who didn't just wanted to deteriorate the stable coin, like the government or big whales or whatever? Or was this just a genuine exploit in their protocol, or was this done deliberately by the team, in your humbled opinion?
Well, in my opinion, it's true that kind of attack. Well, some people can say that attack has happened, but like blockchain protocols are supposed to be designed for adversarial situations, and it is totally their like responsibility to prepare for it and listen to the warnings from the professionals that are in this industry. But they haven't done so, as far as I remember from the past. And
Right.
there's a misunderstanding about this one-to-one trading mechanism, I think, because like I don't know, but like I don't know why they applied the same trading mechanism even though they failed at the previous times.
Yes.
But there's a definite something that we need to get into for these like flaws that this one-to-one trading algorithm that Basis had. Like, so it has so many what do I say? Well, some people can call it attack, but they should have been prepared. That's pretty much the summary of my opinion. Yeah.
Exactly. What I told my audience was whenever you have something on a fractional reserve and that's not really backed one for one, you could have these traders, and when I say traders, not retail traders like suits, right? We're talking about rich families or whatever you want to call them. People that just got a tremendous amount of money that could take advantage of that spread in that peg, right? And they try to separate that peg with manipulating the system, but I don't know if that really took place here. But I know you could give us your viewpoint on the technical aspect of it, right? On how this was designed. I mean, you were there and not only just from your blockchain skills and technical ability, but, you actually were there at one point. And that actually brings me to my next question to UST, which is, I think, the most talk of the town right now in this entire situation. You could talk about Luna, you could talk about Anchor, but UST. How is it possible, Mr. Kang, for this stable coin to actually be depegged the way we're seeing it right now? I think at 17 cents. Could you really break this down to a T in a science on how that was possible and how this actually happened? That would be wonderful if you could do that for us.
Sure. So I think this UST Luna pack is not maintained by one-to-one trading mechanism, as we already saw the failure from the basis cash or the other algo stablecoins. I think it's something like this. So I think UST and Luna in this case, it's like a one CDP account maintained by Terraform Labs or Terra, and then they can issue UST or distribute it through Anchor protocol. So right now, if you haven't noticed, this death spiral actually happened after USD market cap went up to Luna market cap. So right now, the data, we still need to figure out the data analysis on how it exactly depacked, and we also had the UST, but this death spiral, I think it's about just how these huge one CDP is getting liquidated. So people say that it is just the death spiral that ruined all those Luna prices, but people could already have been figured out, in my opinion, by just thinking Luna as a collateral and the UST as like a debt. And when the CDP, like when it just kind of under collateralizes, and that's when the whole position collapse. So people were trying to know that how these under collateralized UST dollar have been maintained. But actually, what I think is that it has been all along CDP was just the Luna token. Luna token market cap globally just maintained by the Terraform Labs. And also, if you haven't noticed, their like wallet is kind of taking like a pretty much high percentage of their market cap right now. And it's pretty ironic that CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko could not notice its market cap, that most of the market cap is from the Terraform Labs wallet.
Yeah.
So if you think about this, I think it's pretty much like that's why the algorithmic stablecoin has failed. I think we could go more deeper into this like after this interview, but this is my brief description. Yeah.
Sure, sure. And it really shocks me that how we're still seeing support from these exchanges like Binance and CZ, I'm still supporting them to a certain degree.
Yes.
So I don't know if these guys got a lot of money in that coin too, but it's just weird how no matter if something is at the wrong, I'm not saying they are, but let's just say they will still be supported, right? Because people are financially invested, right? That's the nature that the traditional world it goes by, the stock world and all these things, and we're seeing crypto kind of like adopt those bad habits, unfortunately. So the question is then, I guess, Young Suk, in your professional opinion, and guys, by the way, this is not someone here on like an influencer on YouTube talking about, the Fibonacci and the cup and handle, like those technical analysis guys. This is real talk. Now, this is a skill developer, so do pay attention. What he's saying is facts. It's not opinion, right? In terms of the makeup, right? If anybody would know, it would definitely be this guy. So, Young Suck, tell me this. In your opinion, what do you think about UST? Is there any chance of this recovering and being pegged once again?
I think it could have been avoided, like like the positions like that I told you earlier. If Luna is market cap is like a collateral, UST is like if people kind of understand this kind of loan situation getting liquidated as like a death spiral, I don't think it was not the only one who thinks like this, because I think I really saw many people saying about these concerns, but after all, this team has not understood about it, but actually like kind of said that really like told us that we're cockroaches. I mean, I have, by the way, I've been called as like an insect at that time, like maybe I'm the first cockroaches, whatever. But yeah, and also they believe that UST just could go like a market cap to be like a first without any logical reason, without any backing at all. I mean, if you could see the like a previous interview, like UST, they Do Kwon says that UST can be printed like limitlessly
Yeah,
without even any logical reason or like technical uh supportive like reasons at all. Like
yeah,
that's really a huge red flag, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I was gonna say something there.
so like also I told many times about this in this company that UST has to be collateralized in somehow, but they did not listen, or did not show anything. So I guess I can just say that this was a shit show that it was going to happen. Like,
Exactly, exactly, man. I just wanted to say something here. So, the supply of Luna has increased from 346 million to 7.1 billion in just 4 days. This has decimated the value of the token, which has fallen from $63 all the way down to I think 10 cents or so. So the 100x pump rather from Luna was due in large part of burned on the flip side when UST was trying to pretty much repeg the amount of Luna minted, which dropped the price by literally 100%. So, they're trying to make up for that by minting and printing new coins, kind of what the fiat system does today. You know what I mean? They're just trying to print,
definitely,
print, print. Could you
yeah.
attest to that? Is that accurate what I just said or no?
I think that also means like the same end that the basis cash did. So like when the $1 peg is broken, actually it's not about like a $1 peg is broken. It's actually when this redeeming currency Luna's value is lower than the debt that they had. So what happens at that time is that when you switch UST into Luna, which has less value than UST in macro way, which as I said that like it's like a one CDP position with total market cap of Luna and the UST, then worthless Luna is minted again to lower lower the price of the Luna, and then if people sell it, then the value goes lower, right?
Yeah.
And it's lower and lower and lower,
Yes.
and it just goes to zero.
Exactly.
So I think that's how that spiral happened, as same as basis cash. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you kind of already answered this, but let me ask again. So, there were many influencers and people, excluding myself, that promoted Luna, and I'm not gonna say, hey, because I mean, like, it did seem like a legitimate project, right? Obviously, not to you in terms of the red flags that you unearthed, let's call it, but to the average Joe, on YouTube, right? Influencers aren't experts, guys. Even myself, right? You guys need to do your own research. And there's a lot of influencers, on this, and they loved it, and everybody likes a high APY. And sadly, people got wrecked. But my question is to you once again. This shit show here, this was a shit show waiting to happen, like you said. But could this have been avoided? And I know you tried to intervene and you spoke about it and expressed this to the team. They didn't listen. But if from a coding standpoint or a protocol standpoint, could they have done this better, or was this something that they wanted to happen for whatever reason because they're ignorant enough not to care about the dangers involved coming from their own team members like you?
Well, I mean, ecosystem at that time, people kind of called them as like an apes. I mean, it's good that like individuals should have more power, but they also need to know that they need to have more responsibility and be careful about what they're doing. But the ecosystem that we have been watching so far, has been about like our crypto ethos have been strangled with the greed and the culture that we made it from the DeFi. So right now, like Andrew Cronin was saying in the Medium that like crypto culture was more related to ego, um, greed, like pretty much the like what do I say? Yeah, pretty much what the ethos is not about. And I think Toquan, in some sense, has succeeded to be like representing those kind of egos or greed or kind of like a crypto culture, such as like a saying someone as like a Chad or something. But I don't know. But it's now really a time that we should really think about the ethos and the responsibility as we manage the fund and how we build this new finance based on the cryptocurrency. So
Absolutely.
that's my opinion about it. Yeah.
So again, in your opinion, right? Because this next question is opinionative, right? It's not really, nobody could say it's factual, but maybe maybe you could argue that it is. But do you think the entire market's free fell because of UST, or was it just by coincidence around the same time here? I believe he owned a bunch of Bitcoin and he also started to sell that off as well. Could you touch up on that if possible?
Well, it's like he could have done that. I think I saw the LFG wallet balance had been emptied, but like if even though like again, even though this has been an attack though, and we also had like a time frame to actually defend this, but he did not. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of
This is
who's
what I say to
responsible
that.
for that, I guess.
Even if it was an attack or not, he's still effed up. You know why? Because you still allowed exploits to happen, right? You should not.
Yeah.
This is why you get audited, right? This is why you go to Certic to get audited, or whoever else you want to go by. But yet if this was an exploit and it was successfully attacked, you still fucked up. It's just as much as if if you exited. You know what I mean? It's just as bad. The end result
Yeah.
is what I'm trying to say. So whether it was attacked or not, you still messed up. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Your code was not good enough then. To
it is.
hold so many people's money in this, if you had an exploit in there, you still messed up. It's just as bad. That's my opinion, anyways.
And he kept it secretive of these criticisms. That's not good. And he also posed about this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well,
everyone called him wrong.
yeah.
At least if they
Speaking
hadn't
about that, let's see what else he says for the viewers who are watching. Check this out.
I wonder how many of these companies you think are entering the space just because it's hot and there's a lot of funding versus the ones that will still be here, like 2 to 5 years later.
95% are going to die.
Yeah.
95% are going to die. Yeah. But yeah, there's also entertainment in watching companies die too.
There's entertainment. Oh man, that's so evil. At least you get to learn.
Wow. There's entertainment in watching companies and projects die. Mr. Do Kwon, are you entertaining yourself right now? Is this very entertaining to you? That's karma, man. And that just happened, Young Suck. This took place about a week ago. A few days just before the fall of Terra. Terra should be called terrifying. It's terrifying. You know what I mean? What's happening? So, yeah. Shame on you, Do Kwon. You don't talk shit. You be humbled, man. And look what happened to you a few days after. Crypto gods just cast a spell on you, bruh.
I mean, by all honesty, he could have chances to fix himself, but like he didn't. So
nope, not with that attitude. Okay, so let's carry on here to the next question, Young Suck. So, obviously the crisis is well documented. It's a catastrophe. It's a crisis. This is well documented, right? So in your opinion, is there any hope for not just UST, but algorithmic stable coins as a whole? I think a lot of people are going to be very wary and afraid to touch another one because of this. But give us your professional opinion and advice on algorithmic stable coins, the right ones, on how you do that. How does that work?
Well, there has been a lot of variations of the algorithmic stablecoins, but like I don't think there has been a research about bringing those self-sovereignty. So like I'm also learning as we develop, but it's that like first try was the Ampleport trying to make an algo stablecoin in a commodity concept, but like I don't think it actually were able to recover to the $1 peg because of the backings that people believed.
Yeah.
Also, well, there may be their opinions about this, but also like the Faye and the other algo frax, I see that there is actually kind of like a admin key and manage their stablecoin price pegs. I mean, I kind of understand why they need it, but like it's not self-sovereign at all, and it's about like kind of accessing other people's fund by depositing funds or
Right.
just minting their assets that can actually manipulate the total supply of their stablecoin prices in
Are
any
you
times.
referring to
So,
Anchor Protocol? How they have to lock up tokens? Are you referring to
well,
that?
that's the one thing too for
Yeah.
algo stablecoins as well.
Right.
There's something that, well, that has to be done in a centralized way when people make an algo stablecoin from my viewpoint. So if they say that if there's a new algo stablecoin out there, I would actually kind of look carefully about this, but maybe it's just my prejudice. But like from my experience that I have from Terra, it's true that I have to think that there should be some centralized control. So
right. For the viewers who are now joining us, you are here live watching a former Luna developer, current core developer at Astar Network, and founder of Standard Protocol, Mr. Youngsuk Kang. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Youngsuk, let me take some questions here, at least one in the live chat. I didn't greet our viewers as yet. Crypto Lifer with the $10 super chat. Love this guy right here. Thank you, Crypto Lifer. As I said, I don't watch TA, but when I do, I watch Crypto Lifer. We got AI on crypto here as well. Thank you for joining. Peter Zodi. Austin says he lost 5 million plus from this ordeal. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. People got really hurt here. So, thank you for joining, Austin, and my sincere condolences goes out to your portfolio. What can I say? I mean, that's terrible. Okay, so I think we have a question here from, where is it? Christopher Columbus. Also would like to know what he would have done better to prevent. Okay, he did touch upon that. We got another question from Lorenzo Gills. What is the best solution here, burn or version 2? Just heard CZ is against a version 2. I think they want to make, like, I guess, another secondary Luna or something.
I would say try version 2 and do not try to make an algorithmic stablecoin, but actually maintaining fund in a centralized way.
Right.
I mean, try better at this time, because even though they say it's an algorithmic stablecoin, it's just like they just manage one global giant CDP with the people's fund.
Yeah.
So if it liquidates,
what does that mean exactly? Could you break
responsibility-
that down in for the average guy to understand the CDP and all that stuff? Yeah, what is that?
Oh, CDP is basically collateral that position. So what Terra has been doing so far is that they set the Luna as like a collateral, and they just show about its network value and network feature, what you can do with the Luna, and kind of issue the depth, the UST, from out of nowhere, from TFL to distribute UST into Anchor. So people at first thought that this 20% APY is pretty much attractive. Like, people can get UST really easily by just depositing UST. But what they have been not noticing is that they actually lock up the UST pricing movement by just locking up in the Anchor protocol, and then increase the market cap, showing that they're pretty strong, but its utility is not.
Right.
And also they use Curve to preserve the price of the $1 of the UST, but not use Uniswap or other things. They didn't really show about USD is getting listed on the Uniswap or something. They just only were listed in a stable swap, which is pretty fishy, right?
Yes.
But and also they distribute UST, but they don't give out it has to be deposited in the Anchor, and I'm pretty sure
Right.
the others said that if those UST
So
has been
Anchor
out,
was the real flaw here, or if there was no Anchor, let's just say it was UST, just like how we have BUSD, USDC with no sort of lending protocol to make them both work, then it would have been okay, or no? If Anchor never existed and it was just a stable coin UST, could that still be depegged?
I think it will still be depegged once this UST market cap goes over the Luna market cap.
Interesting.
And if you think that Luna market cap is like a collateral value,
Right,
and UST is like a DApp value, then that's the positions that has to be liquidated.
right.
And then when they try to redeem those UST into Luna, that's when that spiral could happen. So even though Anchor was not there, if they increase the utility without considering the collateral value of Luna, they could have destroyed themselves at the same way. But this, I mean, it would be great if they could maintain this by themselves, but this is the network that everybody uses.
Yes.
So having a one giant CDP and then let the others manage doesn't make sense. It's not self-sovereign. They should have just, everyone should be responsible of their own collateral positions, not theirs,
Right.
to keep the whole network safe. I mean, so people say that decentralization requires altruism to maintain the system,
Yeah.
but this is just like enslaving others to maintain it, just like basis cash did for basis bond. Everyone when the basis cash price goes lower than $1, everyone has to make some basis bond to secure the basis cash price. But is this from the intent of oneself?
Exactly.
Is this what really people want?
No, you raised a good point there.
lunatics-
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so I really want to ask these lunatics that they want to enslave themselves to this one giant leader, just like Kim Jong Un or something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point there. Lunatics and terrifying, right? That's what we're calling them here now. Terrifying, lunatics. No, for sure. All jokes aside, man, absolutely. It's almost like if it was designed to control this, for this to happen. And, like, look, everybody likes APYs, and that 19 to 20%, was that realistic? And this is more of a, I guess, not really technical or developer question, but more of a financial question here, an economic standpoint. Was that a realistic APY? Let's just say all the code was great. There was no way it could have been, depegged or whatever, right? Let's just say that was intact. What about that 19%? Was that just to lure in investors, or was that actually economically sound and possible to provide, to yield?
Well, if APY was a constant, I would say it's not real because it has been considering other factors in the ecosystem. I mean, do you really believe that this constant APY is actually possible though? Like, I mean, you have seen that APY in Anchor was actually changing, right? But there has been no public documentation of how this APY is determined. At least they say that it's from the staking inflation reserve. That's what I heard from the company. But like, how is this working? How is this numbers are decided? When I asked about it, they did not answer about this anyway. Like, because I don't know, they just did not answer. Like, because if you want to link this APY into staking derivatives, you really need to think about the time of redeeming, because Cosmos has like 21 days to redeem this staking collateral as well. Like, what if this liquid staking collaterals just go lower? Then, APY could change. Like, so those kind of equations should actually have those redeemers, and all those numbers should be specified, but they didn't share all those data in the company.
Definitely some questionable, actions took place. Misleading people. Whenever you have such a high APY and you can't really clearly describe in detail how that works, chances are you don't even know how it works. You know what I mean? And your motives are saying one thing. So, look, if you're now joining us, you're hearing some real alpha from a developer. Young Suk Kang, the founder of Standard Protocol, a former Luna developer, warned us over a year ago about the red flags that he saw. Also a core developer at Asteroid Network, which is a Polkadot project, who is at the helm there. It's Soda Watanabe as well, another class act. So let's talk about other stable coins now, because I feel as though, we're always told, Young Suk, hey, man, just put your crypto into stable, man. If markets are tanking, you're going to be safe. Could this actually happen to stable coins like BUSD and USDC, which, by the way, look, I tell my guys this. I am no expert, but I can only tell you what I've learned in my experience, right? In my only 5 years experience in this space, right? Doing this full time. The reason why I choose, everything has risks, by the way, every single thing, whether I want to store my money in the bank, that could get frozen, whether I want to hold it on to myself in a hardware device, my house could burn down, that could get lost or damaged, or my private keys written down on paper could be burned down, whether I want to hide my money under a mattress, same thing could happen. And the same is true with stable coins, right? USDC, USDT, they could freeze your account with the stable coins in there too. But I just say at the end of the day, you got to pick your poison and choose the route that you think has the least risk, or that, bodes well for your situation. So my question to you, Young Suck, do you think this could happen to other stablecoins like USDC and BUSD, which apparently are backed 1-for-1? It's not fractional. They have the reserves. So that, you know, there's not that sort of like spread in between for traders or big whales to kind of come and manipulate, because it's not fractional reserves. Let me know your opinion on that, please. I would love to know. That's one of my personal questions too.
Well, to be honest, I have no data to get the reserves of the Coinbase or Binance.
Let's just say that how they did have it 1-for-1. Let's just say it was 1-for-1, like as they announced publicly. Could this ever happen to them?
Well, I mean, it's not something that we can check publicly, unlike blockchain. So we still have to be careful about this, I guess. But like, I can't really comment about this, you know, like, since I don't have the confirmed data or evidence of this right now. Well, but it's true that we can actually check whether they have USD reserve in the blockchain. So they're, yeah, this is something that I can comment about.
No, I appreciate the honesty, you know, rather than, you know, just say the truth. If you don't want to say something that's inaccurate, and I appreciate that. That's the honest truth. Fair enough. Before I get back to the live chat, you guys do bring your questions. I'm going to ask Mr. Kang another question of my own here. So Terra Luna has other projects built on their ecosystem that's dependent on UST. Young Suk, do you feel that these projects can salvage themselves, or is it just like the damage is already done for that other project in the ecosystem? Yeah.
Well, they have been developing their codes, so they can definitely be reused in other Cosmos networks, such as Juno or the others, or maybe version 2. But like, what I really want to ask about people who want to build the version 2 is that, I mean, are you gonna be like the same person who sacrifice yourself just to like protect the leaders like Do, or just for the network? Yes. I mean, in fiat word, I mean, you get your own private asset, like, you know, you get your own privacy, you get your ownership of your asset, but you have to always think that when the pegs are kind of depegging or things get out of control, you have to sacrifice your asset in this network. So if they're going to start version 2, they're going to start really questioning hard about this. But yeah, but they can also be reused in other Cosmos network. Yeah.
I think it's really version 3. Because he was behind Basis Cash, now UST, right? Well, the third one.
Yeah.
It's really version 3. So I don't know, man. Yeah. I think people should just wash their hands. You know what I mean? I think people should just wash their hands off of this guy, and that's it, man. But hey, that's my opinion. I never had a cent invested, but I'm just giving people how I feel. But hey, it's not about how I feel, I guess, at the end of the day. So let me ask you a question here from our live participant Elias, who asks, how big of a role do you think collateralization plays? How much collateralization would at least be necessary to make an actual algorithmic stable coin? And if I put you on the spot here.
Like, as I said before, algo stablecoins, even though it's just one-to-one trading mechanism, but we just saw that this one-to-one trading mechanism is not working. Luna supply has been increasing so much that with the under collateralized position when compared to USD market cap, it just becomes like a 0. Yeah. And now like UST is more valuable. Like maybe it's just because the pure believer somehow. Yeah. So collateralization is pretty important in this way. If UST and Luna claims to be like an algorithmic stablecoin, Luna should be valuable than the UST, which was when Luna was hot, where its market cap was over UST. But when it flipped, that's when all those disasters just happened, just like another algo stablecoins. So like, if you want to talk about this algo, really think about this collateralizations on where it is collateralized and who is actually maintaining this. Because if you see Terra Luna, it was those people who put their life savings or like millions of dollars to maintain the system, and they all got liquidated and sacrificed. So really think about this collateralization when developing a new algo stablecoin. That's my opinion about this.
Yeah, no, thank you about that. And not financial advice, but Terra, people are talking about Terra. If they put $10 on Terra right now, if it goes to the moon, they're going to make back their money. What do you think about that? That's crazy talk. That's just some gambling shit right now. That's degen, man.
I don't know. I just don't know. Like,
I know.
So,
It just crossed my mind. People shouldn't mess with that stuff. Okay, so let's get to some community questions that I took down beforehand. And this one comes from Crypto Goat, who asks, if you were asked to design a new algorithmic stablecoin today, would you say that was the best strategy for a new stablecoin in general? And if so, what would be the main differences between it and Luna/UST? Maybe this is your chance to speak about standard, if it I don't know if it's relevant.
Yep. So I think a perfect algo stablecoin should all just have it on algorithm, not only just equations, but it has to provide sovereignty where you can see all activities in a smart contract for CDP. So such as eBoo manners in the Terra, they just show like shitty scanners just where I had to take 9 months to make a data analysis and then parse it back to those like lunatics who doesn't believe that like other like information without proofs. But I was trying to do that, but eventually didn't work out. But like it has to provide like a self-sovereignty where you can see all activities and you are the one who controls your own finance. So each smart contract has to be allocated for you to manage the fund in a immutable law. It's like a code is like a law where you get your own control only bounded by the law. And also the liquidation mechanism from the stablecoins that I DAI or magic internet money is that like once it gets liquidated, it goes to the operator's account. So you eventually when you deposit money into those protocols, you get so the owners can actually take your money when the CDPs liquidates. And when it comes to like a distribution, if they don't distribute, they can always run away like 0x Shifu from Magic Internet Money. So it has to be some other smart contract or automated agent that gives the liquidation, that manages the liquidations. For in this case, Standard tries to have a DEX where this liquidation can be redeemed in a more decentralized process maintained by its participants. Also, for the governance should not actually do like maintain this like go to like what I say. The governance only could manage the parameters of the protocol. So protocol should in the governance, I think it should not involve other assets to be sent or like moved, because if you saw the recent attack from the Beanstalk, they kind of enabled the proposal to move a certain asset using a governance algorithm, which is pretty dangerous about this. Like, so this governance contracts are actually I'm really working on right now, but at least to draw a line, parameters only should be changed through it. So that's pretty much the other thing that I learned about. And I think in the end, in the next cycle, I think self-sovereignty is gonna be the most important thing in this DeFi, because like Terra, if you see other DeFi protocols, it's about like you give your fund to us, then we give you a high API and do something with it. It's not about you deposit your fund, but like we manage your fund in an open or in a self-sovereign way. You get your own control. So this is just like Web 2, but if we really want to go to Web 3, you really know about these differences that we will bring. And this is what Standard is trying to bring, and we're going to build a new DeFi protocols based on it, unlike the older protocols that we have. So it's money
and I
market,
want the people to understand who's coming in, who's now joining or not as educated on this matter, right? Because Young Suck is not saying, hey guys, I'm going to fix this problem today because what he just saw, what happened 5 days ago. This was something he was working on. Go check just Google the Crypto Lifestyle Standard Protocol interview. This was on, I believe, April 13th. He introduced this new thing, this new protocol, Standard Protocol, to address what he saw in Terra, right? So you have to respect that. He's not jumping on this bandwagon today to say, I'm going to make it better today, guys. He already was working on this a year ago. So you got to give him respect on that. Go, maybe Thomas or one of the admins could drop the Telegram chat for Standard Protocol and maybe their Twitter as well. And you guys could ask more detailed questions there. Let's talk about another more famous and popular, rather, stable coin. That's Decentralized DAI. Do you think that's one of the safer ones out there at the moment, Young Suck?
Well, it's pretty safer because there's definite collateral into it, and you get your own control based on managing the CDP. For liquidations, though, still a risk where the operator, when they have the liquidated collaterals, they can run away. But yeah, but also like DAI currently is not pretty much possible for people to maintain their own positions anyway, but because it costs like $10,000 to generate a new position. But right now, what we have been doing so far for EVM, we have been successfully coded the smart contract to give like 0.02 ETH on gas price of 140. So it's like it was like pretty much smaller than the MakerDAO, and we kind of put it like to generate the CDP without limits. So so I suggest you guys to try our new decentralized stablecoin.
Absolutely.
But yeah, right
Absolutely.
now I think DAI is pretty much the safer option, MakerDAO, and
And you
the
know what I noticed in
other
this space
pretty
too?
much.
It's unfortunate because the ones who seem to be um addressing a solution, addressing a problem and creating a solution like yourself, like Standard, like what you said in that clip that I played earlier on in the stream. You're fixing a real problem here, and you want to be humbled. The guys who are flamboyant, who are annoying, like Doja, like this guy here from Terra, they seem to get the love, you know, right? But the people who actually have a good heart, the people who are actually putting their heads down and going to work, they don't really seem to get the publicity as much, which is unfortunate, right? So I don't know what to say about that. That's just human psychology, I guess, from the public. But you guys do go check out Standard Protocol and do yourself a favor if that's what you're into, these types of things. Before we get to the live chat, guys, do remember I am giving away $500 worth of USDC, not UST, to somebody who asks the best question. And I got a couple of my own here. Well, not of my own that I took down beforehand. And we'll get to the live chat thereafter. So this one comes from Sexy Dutchman, who asks, where did the thought originate from to buy BTC for UST reserve? Was this to diversify the volatility in Luna? If so, wouldn't it be better idea to have a comparable BTC buy and selling mechanism as automated as the Luna burn and mint feature? What are your thoughts about this? And I'll leave it up so if you want. It's pretty long. I think there's like 4 questions.
Well, I was quite exiled in the company, so
exactly.
I could not.
Yeah, but just, no. Yeah. I want to make that clear. So remember, Young Suck was not a part of this company for how long now? You left then? How long ago?
I think it's like 1 year right now.
Yeah, about a year, just over a year ago. Okay, guys. So he had no part of this, but just from a technical aspect, right? And since you are technically sound, like I could bring it back up. Could you comment on that if possible? Just from a technical aspect, is that possible? Would that have been better, or it's just not possible?
Well, if I think like buying BTC was actually good for maintaining the like pack in just one time, I guess, but
Right.
it was not never a sustainable way, I think. So, well, if they wanted to do some buying selling, I think the Oracle price should have been not just 1-to-1, but like something else where I think I kind of think about this before and suggested it, but like yeah, but it just kind of requires my brain to think. But yeah, I think no, I think
Okay.
it should go through some 1 hour or so. Yeah, but not now. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Let's move on to the next one here.
Yeah.
So we got another question here that I took down from Mohammed Nasser, who asks, are there different types of algorithmic stablecoins? And if so, what are they? Yeah, I think you touched up on that already. But
Yeah.
yeah, we touched up on that already. Okay. And I got a last one here before I go to the live chat. That's coming from Sean Art. Please ask him, what stablecoin do you think is the most decentralized? We went over that already. Okay. So
Yeah.
if you want to talk about it more about Standard Protocol, if you would like, and I'll go to the live chat, get a couple of questions, and we'll end this. And thank you so much once again under such short notice, Young Suck. But what's in it for people if they wanted to get into Standard? Why would it bring value to them? Based off of what we just saw happen here, right? So if you could explain that to the viewers out there who don't know what Standard is and why they may want to look into it, for the mess that we just all witnessed.
Well, at least I'm trying to fix up or like make up all these previous protocol have been doing. So yeah, this is the pretty much improved design, and right now it is having a less gas cost than I expected for previous stablecoin projects out there for MakerDAO, for example. And also, we really think about your self-sovereignty. We really think about your fund. So it might not look like it's going through 20% APY or something, but we're actually focusing on just protecting your fund, like, and providing a real yield that we can find with the synergy with other protocols in a decentralized, verifiable way that is all like openable in a smart contract. So I think that's what you can remember about our standard protocol, because we're trying to make a new standard and pretty much trying to challenge ourselves to build the next generation finance. That's our goal, to bring Web3 to you guys.
Perfect. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let me actually go to the live chat right now and ask some questions here. So I believe we had one from Robert Harrison who asks, do you think that, and this is just an opinion, right? So do you think there's a chance for the developers to bring Luna back to what it was? Is there any chance possible that this could happen? I mean, like, I could probably touch up on that for you as well. I would say this, sorry. I would say Luna is something where, like, if people just buy it up, right, it's going to go back up in price, right? The price is going to go up. If the same people who owned it said, okay, let's give them a second chance, and then go and they buy it, what's going to happen? Of course, it'll go back up. If I convince you guys to go buy the Indian rupee or the Mexican peso and the world adopted that, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go up. So, you know, that's what we could see here. But I think more from a, you know, from a theoretical standpoint, is that possible? I don't know. Young Suck, the floor is yours on that question.
I mean, as I said before, you can start a new Luna or Terra and build your own like community and start a new thing. But I just want to know, when things get broken and things fall apart, do you want to sacrifice for your leader?
Yeah, exactly.
Like become North Korea or something? Yeah, that's my question. Like you
Absolutely.
can, you can always try, but that's the drawback. Like you have to care.
A lot of people ask me, why didn't I, you know, invest into Anchor, or how come you weren't in Luna? And I could easily just kind of like make myself look real good right now, but I'm not going to do that. But, you know, for me, it was just a matter of, if it's not broken, why fix it, right? What I was using. And that 20% wasn't attracting me, man. A lot of people got influenced by influencers. That's what happened there. You know, people who don't have any technical background on this. That's what happened. You know, they got the big guys out there. And that's why you guys got wrecked. So you guys out there watching this right now, man, next time, don't listen to no freaking influencer, man. You need to know what you're investing in, right? Maybe we could have more of these live stream interviews with Young Suck, someone who actually knows how these protocols work. But be careful who you listen to out there and do your own research. That's for Sheezy. Somebody did say here, maybe Elon Musk will tweet about Luna and then it pops off. You know what I mean? That could happen, right? Elon could be the saving grace there. Okay, let me see. We got about 2 more questions. Okay, I don't know if you answered this. I'm just going to read it out though. So I'll ask, is governance in blockchain much more important now so one person doesn't run the show?
Definitely. We saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then I hope this guy could actually maintain it, but he wasn't, and he did not understand this. So we need one more leader. That's what Decentralized is for. Yeah.
Yeah. I think his head got swollen when he just rose to top 20 crypto, whatever the hell it was, top 10 at one point, and he thought he was invincible. You know, he's talking, laughing about how projects fail. It's entertaining. You know what I mean? So I don't think his mindset's where it is. It needs to be more humbled. So that's not somebody I'm going to invest in. I think when people are investing into projects, they need to know who's behind the project, because you're investing into that person as well. So that's a telltale sign for me. I don't want no part of that crap. That's just my opinion. If you guys want to go gamble more money, go ahead. But I'd rather go to the slot machines at the casino with my money than put it into that crap. So what do we got here? Yeah, Peter Zodi says, don't auditors like a CertiK look into flaws like this? Who audited this protocol anyways? Do you remember?
I think it was CertiK. But the thing about this auditing firm is that this auditing firm researches most focusedly on this contract security. It does not go deeper into a DeFi level. There actually, I'm pretty sure there hasn't been any DeFi auditing firm out there. Like, they never. So CertiK can. I would say that CertiK has done their job for securing their codes, but not the economics that they provide.
Yes.
Because this can't be this can have like a various opinion about this, but like I'm just saying this the opinion in a dominant way, and with the more research that I did on the previous failure of the basis cache and the failure that we just faced from the Terra and Luna. So in the future, I think DeFi auditing will be important in the future. I think so. Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, like they need to start that department, or they need to have a DeFi auditing, because that's where most of the exploits are coming about. It's not so much with the contracts, right? At least in this situation, but so that's something that needs to be created for sure. We need that that market, so to speak. So hopefully some companies come to market and address that issue. Speaking about addressing issues, Intellectual Honesty once again says, where does Young Suck believe most Terra devs are going to go? Is it Polkadot? I know you set that trend a year ago.
Yeah, but like, to be honest, those who followed their path, they'll go to hell.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, so I think I'll ask one more question here. We're about hitting an hour, and I know it's getting very late in South Korea, where Mr. Young Suk Kang is located, and I messaged him about 2 nights ago. I said, hey man, let's cover this. The moment I saw this news, you came to mind. I remember you saying that how you were there and you had some issues that you didn't sit well with you, and this is why you left. You were the first person that came to mind, man. So once again, thank you for making this happen in such short notice. Really appreciate that, guys. If you guys appreciate Young Suk coming onto the program, please let us know in the live chat. He is quite the class act. He did try to warn us about this over a year ago when everybody was bullish. He wasn't that bullish, and he actually spoke of it publicly too on my channel. Go check it out. April 13th, the interview I had with him. So, all smiles. If the basket of coins, example BTC backing UST, is made private, would it have been impossible for the attacker to execute their attack?
I'm not sure, but the global rule is that it's backing collateral of the UST has to be over collateralized. I'm pretty sure Luna Foundation Guard also agreed on this, but they failed. Like,
right.
I think they should have solved this situation before USD market cap goes over Luna, but they didn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey man, I just hope, I think we've seen this happen. When I say this happen, we've seen certain consequences and results happen in the crypto space to this stature in the past, right? We could talk about Mt. Gox. We could talk about, I'm going to bring up BitConnect in the sense of when the market started to go down after that, in 2018. I'm not saying this is a BitConnect right out, flat out, inside job or fraud or scam or Ponzi or whatever, but it still had the same result. The market suffered because of it. Right? And I know this market will be successful in the years to come. This is part of a new industry. We're going to see this happen time and time again, guys. So all the new people who came into this space over a year ago, I don't want you guys to be like the people in, say, 2017. They want to invest. Again, this is what I say. When Bitcoin was at, when I saw it at $800, and I know a lot of people gone way less in 2017, nobody cares about it. But when it goes to 20,000 later in 2017, everybody wants to get a piece of it. Right? You don't want to be the one buying the top and exiting at the bottom. And then when Bitcoin goes back to 100K in the next 2 years or whatever it is, 3 years, you don't want to be buying the top again. You need to stick it through. Just like any business, just like in life, you're going to go through some good and hard times. If you believe in this space, do not get distracted or perturbed by these distractions here and, kind of like mislead you off of the right path. That's what I would say. Young Suck, as we wrap things up, the floor is yours. If you want to say anything about Standard Protocol, about yourself, about Anchor, just be, just telling people to be safe, anything at all. Yeah. The floor, chance is yours.
So the recent UST Luna collapse, I think it just confirms that without any, so even though you put money into it, you put like events where you put like big VCs backing at the project, if the project does not have a technical background and the builder on the adversarial way, it's going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard, and you have to be really careful about it, I think, and really think about this ethos and the self-sovereignty next time. Yeah. So I think next market cycle, I think it will be different based on it.
Absolutely. Look, guys, with that being said, it was quite a pleasure to have you on here, a man of your, know-how, your personality. And, I want to just thank you once again for giving us this warning over a year ago and also coming onto the show. I would love to have you back on maybe in the very near future. We could talk about Standard Protocol and the way things should be designed, the way things should be